Hey, welcome back. Episode 7 here with the Panther Podcast. And I always said another good week, right, guys? Had another good week. Not quite as busy as we've been, just with the weather change, and we had other things going on. So not as many games to talk about tonight, which is good because we got the national championship game tonight. So let's roll right into it.
I'll roll right into that.
Trevor, is Duke playing tonight?
I don't even want to watch it.
I knew that was coming.
I can't believe it's on.
Yeah.
I will say this is the only positive I've got going into the game. We got Coach Kelvin Sampson, UNC Pembroke alum, coaching you. There's been a lot of good coaches come out of there, but Pembroke. So I will be cheering for Houston tonight, but it is tough for me to watch.
That was a tough one the other night. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's move into the North Stanley South Stanley game because I don't even want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah. It was a good one. Night one, big 3-run jack by Tyler Daugherty kind of gave them the jump they needed. I really you can't say enough about Charlie Shaver and just what he does and the adversity he dealt with. We obviously had an interview with him. Not a lot of people knew. The knee was something he had kind of been rehabbing. He's kept the arm in shape during that time, the best he could, and went out there and obviously gave him a chance as he always does. Uber competitive, and found a way to get outs, and the pitchability was still there. But I can't say enough about Aiden Hamilton in the leadoff spot. I think he does a really, really nice job for them up there and gives them what they need. He was the one that I think, gave them the lead, bases loaded, drew a walk after a tough AB, looked in the dugout, was like, let's go. And that's when, I think that same inning, the Tyler Daugherty 3-run jack occurred. So saw a lot of good things there. And then the dugout for North Stanley, they have fun, and I don't think it's over the top by any means. I think they're cheering for their guys for the most part. There's a lot of excitement there.
They're 15-0.
South. Got to look at Jared Henson. Super athletic. Love the frame. He got a hit there in the last inning. Going to be a good runner. He's obviously going to help us on the bump this summer, so it was good to get a look at him. Liked what we saw there for sure. But it was a good game all around. A good crowd at hand, a lot of energy. And North Stanley came out on top.
Yeah, it was a good crowd. A lot of. I will say this. One thing that I noticed about that game, pretty much outside of the game, was there was a bunch of young kids there. I mean, a bunch of Stanley County young kids. It's like all their middle school teams were there. They had a bunch of little league teams out there. That's one thing that I noticed just walking around is like, man, the Stanley County, they're trying to get them involved early, which is really good. Really good to see. I don't know, Kyle, you went on Friday, so just tell us about that one.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same story. I mean, just kind of picking up of what you were talking about, Van. I mean, I was going to talk about that toward the end of the recap of the game, but kind of seeing all the youth, little league guys out there. I mean, it's really cool to see. Because that's what really grows your high school program. And I think it's really important for high school baseball teams to have is a really strong little league program. So, I mean, it obviously tells you why, the Stanley County high schools have been so good at baseball for so long. And, obviously, I think, with Rowan too, it's why, they've been so good. And
I was going to mention that. We had the same thing come up when we went to the East Rowan game. And I know it's two schools that we talk about a lot, but it's a fun environment, man, and the young guys there, it was cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you got good baseball in Mecklenburg and Cabarrus, but, I mean, just the community feel of, like, when you go to a Rowan matchup or a Stanley County matchup, I mean, the community feel is just – it's something that you don't get at some other places. But anyway, the matchup Friday, man, I mean, it was about Heath Klingensmith. Guy went 5 1/3, struck out 8. Fastball was really good, but man, I'll tell you what he started doing was pitching guys backwards. Started pitching off the slider, and man, it's something that I think he's really developed since he's gotten there is that off speed and being able to pitch, off of that instead of pitching off his fastball. Because I think before he got to North he was a guy that big kid, high velocity, just try to throw it by you and couldn't always command that. But he's had to work and he's had to learn how to pitch a little bit, and man, he's it looks like he's really starting to figure it out as far as locating pitches, knowing where to throw certain pitches in certain counts, and knowing where get guys out and get them on their front foot, really. Because he's always been able to throw the fastball by guys.
Yeah.
But it's for him, it's about being able to locate the soft stuff and, being able to pitch off of that too.
And I think that was kind of a thing going in was I guess the workload of Klingensmith, and he's shown he can get you deep in ball games. He can use multiple pitches. Yeah, it's high velocity, and there's effort behind it, and it's a power right-handed arm. But him showing the pitch ability and able to kind of flip script on guys the next time through is what's ultimately helping them get deep in ball games. Then obviously throwing strikes, getting ahead
100%.
of hitters. He's doing a really, really good job of that, and like you said, I think has really came into his zone since he's been there and really progressed nicely. And I kind of was thinking about this before we even started the podcast. Who were some guys that we think could have a breakout summer? And I think he could definitely be one of them guys.
Because
he's
a name
velocity
star.
could continue to tick up.
Yep.
And with the slider command now, and the slider's a firm one. And it's a fastball that can pitch at the top of the zone with some ride and some life. He's really going to be fun to follow moving forward.
Yeah, I think he's just
100%.
loving baseball right now. I mean, we had a tryout at North Stanley a couple weeks ago, and he was there just helping our young kids, helping stuff around the field. So I think he's just loving baseball right now, which is good. It's good to see.
Yeah. Got a good thing going over there, though. A lot of good chemistry. Hayden Moore kid. I'm really impressed with him. High velocity guy off the mound for 27. But really, two hits offensively. Kind of kept things going for him when it got stagnant a little bit for North Stanley. It's kind of stagnant, 1-1. Kind of just getting by, and Hayden Moore had some big hits for him. They're
still undefeated. They're still undefeated.
Yeah, 15-0. Yeah,
15-0 now. Rolling, and it's still about who's playing the best baseball at the end. You obviously don't want to peak too early, but I think just keeping the locker room and the vibes are high over there. The vibes are high. They keep it loose. They keep it fun, and I think that's what it takes. We were talking. I mentioned Texas A&M, on here, and the Jace Laviette, interview, and they went this weekend, and took I think 2 or 3 from Tennessee to kind of get rolling, and they were like, hey, this is kind of what we were thinking. So, it's always good to see some things like that going on.
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah, man, I think definitely a battle tested team. Lefford, East, Carson. It's 3 big wins, beating Piedmont. They beat 4 3A playoff teams and already beaten the, challenger at the top of the league where they play at. So,
Yeah. Kyle, your Wednesday game. Where'd you go Wednesday?
Yeah, so that was West Stanley East O-N. Got to see Brady Elshaw start.
Youngin.
Yeah, had a pretty good start. Not his best night, but I thought he was really good. Kept him in the game. He's a special freshman, man. Up to 82, 83 with his fastball. Pitches in the zone a lot too. I think he's got to get a little better command of his off-speed stuff. But that comes with a freshman. He's going to be a special arm. And his brother came behind him, Harrison Elshaw, man, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 4 Ks, got the win. And then Logan Bradley, 2 hits, 3 RBIs. I've been really impressed with that kid. Going to see him, 27 over there at East O-N. Man, all I heard was he was a primary basketball guy, coming through because I coached over there. But man, he's been really impressive as far as a sophomore goes. Playing at that level. In that program, producing the way he is, I've been really impressed.
He went on a stretch for us this summer where I think he was 11 for 13 in a tournament.
Yeah.
Man, he's been really impressive.
He was 11 for 13 in a tournament, and you mentioned 2 for 3. That was against a really good arm.
Sam Carpenter's good.
It wasn't like he didn't see a good arm with some good velocity and some off-speed command. But just to touch back on Brady as well, I think it's good for guys like that to not always have success when they get out there. Like it's not easy, Are you going to be?
Yeah, well, I say he wasn't his best. He's at 4 2/3, 4 Ks. You know what I mean? Against the West Stanley team, that's a really good program too. that's up there with the top programs where, kind of where I'm from, as far as, how they do year in, year out. So, I mean, it's not a bad outing for a freshman. Just, I mean, the potential he has, man, it's just like, he's going to be dominant at some point. And it's not far in the future. He's going to be dominant sometime soon.
Yeah. He's what? He's like 6. I mean, he's getting taller. Every time I see him, it's like he's getting taller. What is he, like 6'2", 6'3" now?
I'm going to start calling Harry a little bro.
Yeah. I mean, Brady's he's getting tall, so.
Yeah, he's a big kid, man.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Brady, aside from him just being a player.
He's a good
You
kid.
see
Good
him
family.
Mark. He's going to kind of keep everything loose, and he's fun to be around for sure.
Oh, yeah. But I mean that East Rowan team and the West Stanley team too. I mean two really good programs. You got a chance to see two good teams. East Rowan, another. The catchy kid is impressive every time he comes out. The outfielder plays the corner spot. He's on the barrel every time I see him play. So he's one of my favorites that they got over there.
Good. All right. Well, I'm gonna talk about one of your other kids in a minute that you used to love. You still love him. I went to 2 games on Friday. Luckily, I had a back-to-back games at Orange High School and got to see a couple of our guys. And the first game was Northwood versus Green Level. Northwood, Finn Sullivan was on the mound, and he sat 83, 85, touched an 87. Was really good. Gave up 2 runs in the first, but he gave up 2 runs because he hit a guy and Luke Talley hit one off the wall. So Luke Talley can hit.
Not a bad hitter.
Yeah. And then Luke Talley come up again, smoked the ball backside again. That kid, he looked good.
We talked about it last week. He lives gap to gap. He lives gap to gap.
I mean, that kid, he looks good. I mean, I'm talking just physically. I was talking to him after the game. I was like, dude, what have you been doing? Because he's got his, he was always kind of slender. And he's put some muscle on. He said, Coach, I've been working out 4 days a week, trying to play baseball, eating right. I was like, man, that's good because you just look really good. Like I looked out there and you look like the best player on the field just by looking at you. And when he got to hit, he was the best hitter on the field between both teams. So Finn was good. I think he threw 4 innings. Ended up being a really good game. Funny story, the pitcher that closed the game for Northwood, his last name's Miller. His dad is the head coach of the team he was playing against. So that was kind of weird. You're pitching against your dad in a 4-3 ball game. And
let's check out that scouting report going.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of unique. They got. I tell you what, Northwood's got a freshman over there, Riley D'Angelo. He's going to be a stud. He's young for his age. I think he still plays 29. He's a 28, but he's going to be really good.
You mentioned that name to me, and the All-State stuff. Perfect game popped up. D'Angelo's a good player.
Yeah, he's going to be good. But I think what I took out of that game was just Finn threw well, and I love Finn. Me and Finn sat there and talked for like an hour after the game. And I love that kid to death. But Luke looked good. I can't wait to see. I talked to his parents. He threw his first bullpen last week, so he's getting back on the mound. I'm just looking forward to seeing what he's got. So
it could be a legitimate 2-way option.
Yes.
I mean, perfect game PPR has him ranked as I think one of the top left-handed pitchers in the state.
Yeah,
so obviously back healthy and the ability to swing the bat. You talk again about roster size and things of that nature. That's a huge advantage.
I think he's got a chance to be really special too. I mean, he's a really good athlete, man. I mean, he plays the first base position kind of different than you would imagine a left-handed slugging guy does. I mean, he's really athletic, maneuvers around the bag, and he's first to third, scores from first on balls in the gap.
Yep.
And the family he has is unbelievable.
Just
that kid is awesome, and his family's they're really good people. So it's good to see him doing well.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of potential, man. Yeah. He's got a lot of talent in that body.
Game 2 was Orange versus Chatham Central. It ended up being an 11-1 blowout by Orange. I didn't stay for the end, but OT pitched. Oliver Van Team. He's coming off a little injury. They kept him real short. I mean, he hit 80, 86, 87 a couple times, but he was, just kind of how they say in the majors a rehab start. That's kind of what that was for him.
It was his ankle though, right?
It's his ankle. Yep. Yeah, he's going to be fine. I mean, it's just got to get through it.
Just tweaked it up.
Just tweaked it up.
Playing.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, he's going to be fine. I mean, that dude's. I tell you what, before the game, I was talking to one of my buddies, Rick Parks, who his son plays for Northwood, who coached at Northwood for forever. And Oliver walked up to me, and he was like, "Good God, how old is that kid?" And I was like, "Man, he's a 27." I bet Oliver's put on 25 pounds since the last time I saw him in person. I mean, he's thick. His legs are thick. You know, he looks good. I'm looking forward to getting up with him more this summer. So, yeah, that was my 2 games Friday, man. It was 2 good games.
You got a fun summer. I think like 16, you and obviously Coach, you done it.
Yeah.
You know, last year, I think it like really clicks. The physicality is set in. The game is fast. Yeah. You get to see some electric stuff. And, you know, you get to see some really good talent on display. That's why you can't beat what we do and go into these national events and, you know, not only our guys, but the stuff that they get challenged with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, let's go into Pitcher of the Week. Pitcher of the Week is a youngin', man. He's a new guy for us. He's a 28. Duncan Carver over at AC Reynolds. I think we posted something today on Instagram right before this. That was kind of a lead up, I guess. But the kid, he threw 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 6 Ks. Real good outing for a freshman. I mean,
he was actually 6 innings, 9 Ks.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah, six.
On the week, yeah.
I guess on the week.
Yeah.
But it's he's gonna be a fun follow, and I think the delivery is repeatable. It's again an athletic mover. It's a very, very high ceiling, tall, lankier frame, with a good feel for his pitches, and he's in the strike zone at a young age, which sometimes you don't find a ton of. I mean, that's the thing that a lot of times, I guess, young arms with velo struggle to do is command their velocity and still learning their body. But he kind of has, it seems to have both of those things going for him now. So, like I said, I think he's got a chance to be special.
Yeah. One thing that always, when we first started talking with Duncan and his family, was that we were looking at his stats as a pitcher for the 24 year, the year of 2024, and when you throw 42 innings in PG and your ERA is .25, it's pretty good, right? Yeah,
pretty good.
You're throwing a bunch of strikes, So we're really looking forward to having him. He's going to be a big summer for our 28s, and then our hitter of the week's another 28. Trey, you want to talk about him?
Yeah, Reed Osborne. He's been freaking knocking on the door every week, and had another jack this week. I think still
knocked it down this week, baby.
Yeah, I think still leading our program up to 7. 7, I believe. He's hitting .661 on the year as a freshman. It is 6 jacks. But again, that's an outfielder that can hit. You stick him out there, and he's going to hit. That's what he's going to do. And that you just say, hey man, go do what you do, go hit. You don't really take away his aggressiveness. You just let him kind of do what he does, and he splits gaps. And he can change the game with one swing.
Do we have a birth certificate with a stamp?
Probably not.
Run those numbers back by. What is he doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach, he's hitting .661 on the year with 6 home runs.
Yeah.
6 home runs.
He's had a good career. That's a career for some guys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's going to be good. He's a big kid too. If you look at him, he's left-handed
swing. The thing about it is it's sneaky. You kind of don't realize you see him. You don't realize he's somewhat physical till you get up on him.
No.
Right. And a guy to refer to, and I'm not, he was very, very special. Walker Jenkins was kind of the same deal. Like, you didn't realize that was a full-grown man until you kind of got on him. But Reed's obviously a special left-handed bat. And when you're hitting .661 as a freshman, you deserve some pub for that. Obviously with 6
Not bad.
And obviously, well, I mean, we're thinking about our week. hopefully, them and Community School of Davidson can get it in tomorrow. I know Community School of Davidson has a turf infield. You got Landon Whittington over there, another 28, and then you got Cherry at Lincoln Charter, who's a switch hitting. We liked him in the infield. He's playing outfield there. He's on the field as a freshman. He's an athletic guy. You can kind of stick him in.
Really impressed with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully we get a chance to see all those guys in action tomorrow. It's guys that have put up good numbers. I mean, Whittington has 3 home runs on the year as well.
Yep.
That would be fun to get out there.
Yep. Well, let's highlight some of our guys. I mean, I will say this. The parks I went to this week, North Stanley, South Stanley, and Orange. One of the things that a couple of the parents come up to me and said was, "Coach, we just like listening to y'all talk about other players because we don't get to see them." So, I thought that was kind of neat for them to say, hey, that's something that they enjoy us doing, is highlighting our guys, because they don't get to get out and see them because they got to go watch their sons play. So,
well, we appreciate them listening to us. Just get on here and kind of rant about our week.
Yeah. I'll start. I mean, I'll go with Wyatt Cluis. He's a 2028 out of South Brunswick. He had a good week, man. He's batting in their 2-hole for them as a 28. That's where Walker's from, so that's kind of a unique thing that you just said, Walker Jenkins, when I went into that one. But Wyatt's having a good year. My next one is old Bromo. Old Brody Morris sent me some stats earlier this week because I got on to him last week. I sent a text to him and said, "Hey, you gonna send me some stats or what?" Old Bromo had a good week over there at Wake Christian. So, man, I love old Chicken. He's a good dude, and Tim texted me this week too. So, Nolan Ellington, Nolan's had texted me some stuff about his week, up to 88 this week. I think he put some stuff on Twitter. Man, looking forward to getting him out this summer. I just have a feeling about that kid and this summer, and he's just going to have a good year, or a good season for us, anyways, what I'm saying. So looking forward to that. Gunnar Johnson, another 28, started at third base for Alexander Central, which is a school up in the mountains, and hitting 315 on the year. So, I guess we're highlighting 28s maybe tonight. I don't know. Seems like that's the trend, but another good one there. So, Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, guys that I saw that don't play for us that I was impressed with. I mean, the guy that started for South Stanley on Friday, the Henson kid, 27. I thought he was really impressive. Pitched against a really good lineup, but man, I really liked him. I thought his fastball was alive. He hit the ball well. Had kind of a funky delivery where he hit the ball kind of kept behind his back a little bit. I thought he pitched really well. Just that North Stanley lineup's just so tough of putting pressure on you, and they're so deep. But then too, the Sam Carpenter kid at East Rowan, pitching, at that place and being able to do what he did. I mean, he was really impressive. Coastal Carolina, I know, was there, and Campbell too. So he's definitely made himself a name, and he's got some attention with him. So I thought he answered the bell. 9 Ks, 5 2/3. Threw really well for them, and also a really athletic kid. I was surprised. I've never seen him play before. We played him last year in high school, but I was thrown out the game before, so I missed that one. But I was
that must have been the East Rowan game.
It was. We played them the next day.
I gave you a little love tap when you were walking by.
Yeah. Didn't really appreciate that one. Just really the athleticism of Sam Carpenter was really impressive for me. And then, got the catcher for me on the 2016, Jack McKellar. He's off to a good start with Rocky Mount.
Let's go.
I know Trev, you know the guy he plays for.
I was talking to Coach C today. That's funny. We were I was actually talking to him today, and he was talking about Jack. So it's funny you gave them a shout out.
Yeah, and then the Buddy Robertson kid, left-hander, committed to UNCG for our 2016. He's working back. Should be full strength sometime soon. Excited to see what he's got for us this summer, and excited to see what he can do the rest of high school season. And then two, Noah Rhodes, continues to really swing it well and play a good outfield for Holly Springs, as well as spin it really well and throw the heater from the left side. So,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, well, Coach, I am going to excite you. Henson is I'm glad
Is
you
a
got a
Panther.
good look at him. He is a Panther. We have locked that in, so he's going to have a big summer for us.
Really impressive.
Yeah, good. And that was the thing. It just kind of jumped out. When I went to game one, it was kind of just there, like watching the game. Obviously, I was right there. Had some of our younger guys were out at the game, so we were chatting it up. But like that last at bat he had a hit through the six. But he is very athletic. Some of the guys that I was sitting here, thinking about was Wyatt Lytle. You said Wyatt Lewis first, and you were kind of like it was unique staying in that area. I was like, I want to go next and say Wyatt Lytle and keep it on the same first name. But man, you talk about a guy like he's really starting to put some good muscle mass on his frame. He's swinging it well. An offensive catcher. That's what you got there. That can also do it behind the plate. Really, really good. In terms of handling the block, the catch, throw. The receiving stuff, I'm excited to see it this summer after being at Pro-5, being a part of an academy, kind of getting that everyday work in.
His maturity is really impressive. I mean, as far as commanding the staff, he came down for us and played in the BCS after our guys went to the future games. And the way he handled the staff just coming in, and he was even catching before that, we kind of got his feet wet with our staff a little bit. And the way he handles the staff, it's unreal for as young as he is at 27.
Yeah. He's a workhorse back there too. We were when Hurley were with the 27s. Unfortunately we had an injury at that position, and he had to go back there and kind of carry the load per se. So he's a workhorse back there too.
Yeah, that's what Jackson gets for playing football, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
And then
don't get me into that.
Yeah.
They bring some toughness. Then you got Charlie Becker. Charlie Becker's been having a good year on the mound. I know he threw against some quality clubs last week. He's had a couple big hits. I think he has 2 walk-offs. For Oceanside Collegiate, who's obviously very competitive in that South Carolina area. Sam Rice, another really good outing for Reagan. We keep talking about him. I saw him again today. They're 12-4. They're starting to get healthy. He's giving them a chance every time he goes out on the mound. He's living in the strike zone from the left-handed side, pitching to both sides of the plate, and really having some success there. Hayne Pertulik, left-handed bat, had a jack this week. There's obviously some major juice there to the pool side. I think, there is some things to clean up, getting him a little more connected, letting him use all fields because he is a physical left-handed hitter that's athletic too, like a good athletic mover, good build, and getting him to use all parts of the field. But obviously, when you start to see some things click, it's going to be very intriguing there. So, and again, we're just really enjoying doing this, getting out, seeing our guys, following them, going to these games, seeing the people there, starting to do some interviews. It's been really, really fun for us, and we can't wait to get going this summer. Obviously want to say thanks to our families for tuning into this, but we're having a lot of fun.
Speaking of summer, Kyle, I just want you to know, just listening to these podcasts that we're doing, y'all are lucky that we do not have time to do a 26 versus 27 World Series, because I'm telling you, the 27 National and the 27 Marucci team would beat y'all. We in a series, wouldn't even be close. Just so you know. You're lucky we don't have time to do it.
Did you say 27?
Stirring it
You're
up.
combining 2 teams?
No, it'd be a 4-team series. But we don't have time to do it because we play every weekend. But if we did.
Well, it's just as they lose in the high school playoffs, or if they don't make it, we'll just pull guys and we'll run a scrimmage.
We tried that one year.
I'm all about it.
We tried that. We did that. Yeah.
I'm all about it. We can figure something out.
We did that one year. We just had too many kids out there that one day. We did.
Hopefully, most of our guys are in the playoffs.
Hopefully we won't see them for a
Expect
while.
all of them to be. But I would bet the house I'm sitting in that our 2016 beats your 2017.
That'd be fun. There'd be a lot of good players to play, man.
Oh man.
Really, you're starting something that's a good idea. You think in terms of player development and giving everybody access, as many reps you can get, and as many good reps as you can get. And I think that's what we want to try and do over here and create that environment for our guys that people enjoy being around too. I think that's
that'd be
important.
fun.
And I know
Yeah.
all of us sitting on here, we love to do it, and it's just about getting guys out there and getting around and creating some culture. And while they're in high school, yeah, it's tough and is our time limited in summer, but when we're on the road, doing these cool things, or when we start out at that Panthers Duke camp, just getting to know everybody, seeing everybody work out in that type of style, and go at it. Maybe I know last time we did a coach pitch inter squad, which I'm big on. Just learn how to run the freaking bases and make the right decision on reads, redirect baseballs to the right base, see how our catchers are communicating, trying to give them access to that stuff. And you're off on a kind of a different topic now, I guess, player development. This summer, scouting reports. I really hope that our staffs, and I know we will, but we work hard to give our players access to as many resources as we can. If we have an idea of who we may face the next day, I'm sure there's probably video out there. Let's get out there and try and break that down and make sure we're prepared going into it. What is our approach here, and discuss it as a team, because that's what it takes to be successful, and that's what it is at the next level. I think obviously this summer, that's how we can enhance, this player development for these guys. Just really, really pour into them in terms of everybody that we have part of this.
Yeah, well, it looks like we got about a month left, really. I mean, some of the guys are going to start falling off a little over a month, I guess. And we'll start, because you got Easter breaks really at the end of this month will be the final set of breaks, which I thought was really weird because, Coach, y'all's break was like 2 weeks ago. Y'all's in Rowan counties, or I guess you are in Rowan County. And then Pittsboro and Orange County were last week. That's why they were playing that tournament at Orange, which I thought was kind of unique.
Right.
And then, the Randolph County schools, which is where my kids go, is in 2 weeks. And then Stanley County and a lot of the other counties are in 3 weeks. That's when the Mingo Bay and Myrtle Beach is, which I'm really looking forward to getting down there and seeing those guys again, because we got
It's
like
about to
seven.
be a crazy month.
We got like 17.
It's just like that. It's that time of the year. We went through the phase where you get after it early, and then I think you said these last 2 weeks, it's been like, hey, slow down, because it's really going to pick up at the back end. You got these you got these spring break tournaments, and get to the end of the season, playoffs, and following our guys throughout that. So there's a lot coming up, and there should be a lot of good baseball played. And you're kind of at that midway point in the season. That's where
It's out in front of us.
Yeah, I mean, there's like all of our middle school kids and a lot of our younger kids, not all of our young kids, that do play the JV side of things. They're going to be done in 3 weeks. So
yeah, well, you actually, Hurley just taking me into that, just talking about our 2030s and 29s and maybe, kind of what our plan is moving forward. There is a skills camp that some guys will be attending on the 19th that we're holding, and then we got Panther Weekend coming up on the 26th for the 2030s. Just getting everybody out there. Our Marucci squad gets cranked up on May 3rd and 4th. We want to, try and put on our best show on weekend one while also putting in our system and just getting our guys familiar with each other and kind of going around. So I'm super, super excited about that group. There's some new faces throughout that class, 2 really competitive teams in the 2030 class from what I feel like. But you don't win them on paper. We're going to have to be tough. We're going to have to compete. We're going to have to throw strikes. We're going to have to do the little things. We're at 13 years old. We got to play baseball. Be able to execute our small game. Run a pretty successful pick game. But again, I want
pick game at 13U. Woo.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about just pouring into them, at that age, and coach, you turn your head, but you're with the 26s now. I mean, really, think about it. That's a recycle, but still giving them, these kids want to learn, giving them those things, those scouting reports, just trying to help them, because you're trying to really, you said they play on the JVs, some play on the JV teams and things like that. But again, middle school baseball is not very good. That's just the reality of it.
JV baseball is not very good either.
It's just not very good.
Yeah.
So making sure when they get out there, we're giving them as much as we can to help them for high school, because that's what you're trying to prepare them for, how to compete and how to be ready to handle, a five days a week. Obviously, if you got talented players, they may want to play varsity as a freshman. That's not an easy task. You got to be physical. You got to know the game. You got to be able to play the game fast. But giving them access to the things that they may need getting to that point, I'm excited about it this summer. The same deal with our 29s moving forward. We got plenty of practices coming up. So this player development piece, we're really taking a dive on it. And if that's what you're looking for, I'll just say it. We want to be a place for you, even if you're not a part of the Panthers yet. You listen to this. That's what we're passionate about.
Nice. Yep. Let's talk about some games coming up this week. We'll real briefly. I mean, we talked about Lincoln Charter Community School Davidson. We already talked about that one. I got Midway versus West Bladen. Tanner Williams goes over to Midway, and we've been talking last week, and he said, this is probably going to be for the conference championship. So big series for those guys. I think they're both like 10-6, 10-5.
Midway put me out of the playoffs. Man, that was probably the year I thought we were the best. And we went there and we were up 6-1, and the wheels absolutely fell off at Midway. Not one.
I mean, I wouldn't want to line up against Tanner. I can tell you that. I mean, he's freaking 84, 88, left-hand side. I wouldn't want to line up against him, But I'm not really sure what else they have. But I know Tanner's pretty good. And then you got East Rowan Carson. The old Rowan County battles.
Yeah. So looking for a big crowd there. I've been in that rivalry now. I mean,
are they at
coaching
East?
for?
Are they at East or Carson?
Yeah, they're at East. They're at East. So it adds an element to that being at Staten.
Yeah.
Been a part of that for the past 8 years. It's really fun. East is going to have Harrison Elshaw on the mound, left-hand hitter committed to Carolina, but he's really special on the mound too. I think been up to around 88, 89. So look for him to be really good. He's super competitive in the zone. Gives them a chance to win every time he's out. I don't know that he's lost a varsity start in high school.
We pretty good player.
Yeah, he can play.
And then for Carson, you got Kendall Sifford, who's been really impressive. Junior, 6'2", 3, up to 87. So he's been really good for them too. So excited to see that. Excited to get out and see some of our other guys too. Logan Bradley, we talked about him earlier. Mason Phelps,
how's Sam been playing?
Brady Elshaw. Sam's playing well. He had a hit against West Stanley, had another hit Friday night. He's doing well. I think he's second on the team in RBIs.
Yeah, he's been good defensively too. Filling obviously big shoes there with one of the better ones we've ever had in Cobb Hightower. We've had some
absolutely
good middle infielders come through the program, and he's kind of stepped into that role. I think nicely, and he did catch my attention. When we were at the game, I was watching him play catch. When we got there kind of early, and then in and out, I got some good video. He's got good hands. He good movement around the bag, and he's hitting in the 3-hole.
Yeah. And then for Carson, the Maverick Walters kid, left-handed pitcher for our 26 team, a lot of talent. Not a bad hitter either. So excited to see him play a little outfield and hit. And Ryan Snyder. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast.
How's Javen doing?
So just Javen, he's starting to swing it. So that was my last name I was going to talk about. Saved him for last. He's really starting to swing it, hitting a lot of doubles, extra base hits. So excited to see him too. And I want to see him match a fastball up. I haven't got a chance to see that this year, and I saw a lot of it last year. So excited to see that.
I got you. James Island.
You got AK in Providence on Thursday, and at Providence this time. That's a pretty good atmosphere to be in if you've never been a part of that rivalry. That place will be packed. AK's had some, adjustments. I think kind of made mid-season. I think right now the interim coach is there. But again, they've got some really good players over there, and they're talented.
Talent against talent.
Yeah, it's talent against talent. So it'll be a good one. Obviously, you kind of always expect that going in there. We went to the first one, so should expect a good ball game. And then you got the two matchups for Marvin Ridge and Sun Valley this week. You'll obviously get to see Salerno. I think he's going to throw on Wednesday. I believe it's game 2 for Sun Valley is when he goes. So that'll be good against Marvin Ridge, who's a good club. They face Metrolina. and lost 8-0. But I think I don't think 8-0 was really a reflection. I don't think Marvin Ridge played well. Or up to their ability. They did bounce back with a win over obviously a good Providence club last week. So that'll be another good test for them. They played a tough schedule too. It seems like. So I think going down the stretch for them with the depth they have on the mound, they could kind of be one of them teams that are battle tested and could make some noise. So I'm interested to follow them this week. And then Hurley, you mentioned. James Island and Fort Dorchester before the podcast, and I'll kind of let you kind of go into the James Island side, but the R.J. Hamilton kid that we saw at Whack-A-Mole during the I guess tournament down there.
Yeah, that was. I don't remember what that one was called. It wasn't the classic.
It was. Was it the East? It wasn't the East Bay Classic.
I can't remember what it was.
I can look back on our social media, but that was a kid. He went out. It was a cold night, and you got there, and it was like, oh, okay, this dude, he moves well on the mound and things like that. Before you know it, he's in the fifth inning, just dominating, just pitching. I mean, pitching backwards, going to both sides with the fastball. He'll expand up, and he had really, really good command of all pitches. The body was in sync. The velo, was only 82, 84. I think topped 85. He's committed to USC Sumter, but he's a really, really good arm. He's a really
that's a good JUCO program.
Yeah. So I think if he matches up, it could be tough for James Island, and I think that kind of goes for anybody in the state. Everything's kind of open.
They're ranked second.
Go up.
And Max Preps, Fort Dorchester's second in the state. So you don't know, but it's a 3-game series. We talk about it all the time. The 3-game series, we like that. But I think James Island's. You got the Jones kids, you got the Taj kid, they got the center fielder, the other left-hander. He's going somewhere, and I'll be honest with you, they've thrown a lot. They've thrown Tripp a lot lately, more so than I thought they were going to throw Tripp. But I guess he's such a fiery kid. When he strikes everybody out, he's always making it look good. So, he's going to compete for sure.
It's like when we saw him the last time. You're like, man, if you could make a deep run in one of these tournaments, and you got a guy like Tripp, still in your pocket. That's not a bad arm to have going.
Because he's going to compete. Yeah.
We said the same thing with Maddox Moore and Harrison Elshaw. It's not a bad ace in the hole to have.
Yeah. So, but a lot of good games. You were talking about the Charlotte area, and your Cuthbertson versus Weddington, your AK versus Providence, your Marvin Ridge and Sun Valley. You got Metrolina in that area. A lot of, other than Metrolina, those other schools I believe are all 4A. I think, maybe Sun Valley, maybe 3A, but I think they're 4A. I mean, that's a lot of good baseball right there in that area. I mean, you add South Meck into that too. So a lot of interesting playoff baseball.
Yeah, you got Charlotte Christian.
Weddington's good.
Just all
Charlotte Christian or Charlotte Catholic, excuse me.
Yeah, just all in the area. And then Charlotte Catholic. I mean, there's a ton of good baseball. I don't have to go far from the house to find pretty much a decent game. At least every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
You don't have to go far, and that's been the luxury of kind of having us three this year.
I was going to say that's part of the beauty of having us is that I'm in Rowan, which I'm prejudiced on that. I think it's some really good baseball. Charlotte, Trevor, you're around Mecklenburg, and then Van, you're up there, Rutherford or Randleman. So
don't mess with the Tigers now.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
They got a big matchup this week. Providence Grove.
Providence Grove.
Watch out.
They got
Country. When you drive in there, you got to get off the Lex. You got to go to the Sheets. Pay your tribute to Richard Petty. Check out our Walmart if you haven't. It's always a sight to see.
It's one of the best in the state if you want to.
We got Dale right down the road, so I think we win that.
I don't know. On a Friday night in the Walmart Random, buddy, you can have a good time. Well, guys, we're going to get off here tonight. It was a good one. Another good one. Again, if you see us out, come say hey. We're enjoying it. Go Gators, I guess.
Nah, Nah, let's go Cougs. Let's go Cougs. They're up 3.
Who beat Duke? Was that Houston?
Houston beat Duke.
Yeah, let's go Houston.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Later.